Most likely, this is a reflection of John the Baptist and the baptism connected with him. What are you talking about, Drop? I'm talking phantoms and duplications. And that there are many phantoms and duplications, and this is why they pushed our history back 333 years, 1,053 years, and 1,778 years. These were the three major chronological time shifts, and you got to research the work of Anatoly Fomenko. Now, this book, this $1,000 book, the one I sent everybody who asked me, I got the PDF. I hit y'all up with it. Hit me up, music at 432thedrop.com. Hope everybody got it. All right, so we don't need to read $1,000 book to get the drop. We already had the drop, but this is connecting some interesting points. Now, most likely, this is a reflection of John the Baptist. What? We're talking Prester John. We're talking the Kari, which means we're talking the Kara Katai. Now, before we get to the Kara Katai and the Kari, you need to, understand we're talking chronology. According to the dating of the adherents of this new chronology, the activity of John the Baptist and Jesus Christ, JC, occurred in the 11th century AD. Now, here's a simple question, because I know you're baking your noodle on this, especially if you're rocking with Jesus, because there ain't no J. There ain't no J. They invented the J in the 16th century. You're just talking Jesus. Jesus. And why would they bring Zeus? Why would they bring Jupiter? And why did they have to make it a reflection? Why did they have to make it a duplication? First, let's focus on John the Baptist. And remember, let's ask the question. If this is occurring in the 11th century, then you're going to have to choose your John and you're going to have to choose your Joshua. Now, the Mormons got it, man. They got this part. They know Jesus is who they call Quetzalcoatl. So you can research their documents. They know very well that Quetzalcoatl, right, this indigenous priest king, is Joshua, or who they call Jesus, right? But that's what they're hiding. They still cloak him in this Jesus. They're not letting you know that this Joshua is literally the Joshua under Moses. And this Moses situation, this David situation, all this is happening recent, 11th century AD. Now, why is he connected to baptism, right, with these Carians? Because, again, you're talking the letter of Prester John. You're talking the priest king. Prester means priest. John means king. All right, you got this letter. Whoever drinks from this water, he had the fountain of youth. And they were bathing in the fountain of youth. And this became what the Christians call baptism. And now they think, oh, let me just bathe in these waters. No, these waters were miracles from Hawaa. Whoever drinks of the water 3 times without having eaten will have no illness for 30 years. And when he has drank of it, he will feel as if he has eaten the finest meat and spices, for it is full of Hawaa's grace. A person who bathes in this fountain, whether he be of 100 or 1,000 years, will regain the age of 32. Now, how many times did King David or Prester John take baths in the fountain or lead the tribe? He said, no, that he took the whole tribe. The whole tribe were born and blessed in the womb of their mother, our mother, 562 years ago. And since then, we have bathed or been baptized in the fountain of youth 6 times. So that bakes your noodle about your chronology, about King David, about all these, and how they had to connect this story and how far it really goes. Prester John was letting readers know by the miracle, we're talking the miracle of the fountain of youth. He was 562 years old by the miracle of Hawaa, because David has the keys. I said David has the keys. He is immortal, right? He is immortal. David has the keys. King David of Israel is equated to the great Khan, and this one, the Prester John of the Indias. Prester John, who they found right here in America. Prester John of India Superior, or Cathay. Now, we're going to get on Cathay, or who they like to call the Kara Katai. But, just understand why we do it. Hosea 3 and 5 all day. It's the only script telling you to search for Hawaa, and let's go. Hosea 3 and 5, the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king or prince. So many days you forgot what it feels like to have order. Without sacrifice, sacred pillar, effort, teraphim. Afterward, the children of Israel shall return. Now you're waking up to seek Hawaa. They say Lord in English. They're talking H1961 Strong's Concordance. Hey, primitive root verb, Hawaa. Framer and shaper, fifth and the sixth letter of Paleo Hebrew. Breath of security. But they don't say all that. They say God. Right? But you're going to wake up. You're going to seek Hawaa. And who's this say? David, their king. They shall respect Hawaa, not fear your mama and daddy, right? You respect them. You keep the code and his goodness in the latter days. So this is about you right now in the latter days returning, seeking the creator and David. Why? Oh, let's go back. For the dismount, Malachi 4, behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Hawaa, and he will turn their hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the earth with a curse. So you better wake up, because we're talking about Elijah being sent before the great and terrible, dreadful day of Hawaa. Who's Elijah? Sometimes the New Test be dropping jewels to connect you. You just got to know not to be hijacked in hijack city. Matthew 11, for all the prophets and the law prophesied into John. The prophets and law prophesied into John. Which John? And if you're willing to receive it, he is Elijah. So John is Elijah. Matthew 17, why do the scribes say that Elijah must come first? This Isu said, Elijah is coming first and will restore all things. But I say to you, Elijah has already come, man. David is immortal. Then the disciples understood that he was talking about John the Baptist. Why are we talking John the Baptist, my naga? Because most likely this is a reflection of John the Baptist. What? The medieval Europe legend of Prester John likely is a reflection of John the Baptist and the baptism connected with him. So if John the Baptist is really Prester John, and Prester John is really the great Khan or King David, then David is Elijah. David is the immortal. David is the one that's coming back. Malachi 4, I will send you Elijah, right? But we already knew that from Jeremiah. Because what does Jeremiah say? Let's go. What does Jeremiah say? And David their king, whom I will raise up for them. They shall serve Hawaa, and David their king, who I will raise up for them. Man, we're talking phantoms and duplications. We're talking David was dark in complexion. We're talking the Encyclopedia Britannica. David was dark in complexion. David was dark in complexion. You're just talking about the land of Prester John, right? And how this connects with the great Khan. You're talking about the Kara and the Karites. They call a mythological figure. Let's get it bigger. Prester John had a real discernible effect. Now check it out. The roots of Prester John legend might also be traced to Central Asia events, right? So now you're getting into the Nestorians, or who they called the